Right now at 4, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement officials confirming a man died in their custody in North Texas over the weekend. What we know about the case so far. And 2 Democrats, 1 seat. Colin Allred and Julie Johnson are taking their race to a runoff. A deeper dive into the battle for District 33. Plus, the spring break travel rush, big slowdowns at security lines across the country, why a partial government shutdown could throw a wrench in your travel plans. But first, high winds whipping across North Texas. Look at this, temps plunging to near freezing as our cold front moved in last night. Thank you for joining us for WFAA News at 4. I'm Morgan Young, and I'm with meteorologist Cassie Hyder. Cassie, this morning was just downright cold. Yeah. It was in the upper 30s walking out the door.
What time did you walk out the door? We got down to mid-30s at DFW.
Oh my God.
It was super cold.
I didn't even leave super early. It was so cold. And I thought I was going to be cute without a jacket. I was like, no.
You tried leaving without a jacket?
And I don't know why. Because I saw the sun. It looked nice. And I was like, oh no. Turn that thing right back around.
Yeah.
We're looking at a repeat tomorrow.
Yes, actually. But I think this time we're going to have a lot less wind. So that's at least going to work in our favor. We did have a lot of wind today. Tonight, that wind becomes light and temperatures drop down into the low to mid 30s once again. So we went ahead and extended our WFA weather alert to include now Tuesday morning, specifically from 3 to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, because that is when that wind will definitely be light, and that is when those temperatures will be very cold. So we're talking about a freeze warning. A light freeze is possible across really much of North Texas, and wind chills could get down into the mid and upper 20s in some spots. But again, the wind is going to be a lot lighter tomorrow morning. So just stay updated with the latest forecast and make sure to bundle up. So here's the freeze warning again for all of North Texas for tomorrow morning. It is going to get very cold again. We're not going to be there forever. Right now, we do have wind, and it's coming out of the north between about 25 to 35 miles an hour. But like I mentioned before, that wind, it's going to be diminishing late this evening. This is our DBU camera. We do have some clouds around. We're going to keep some clouds around this evening, but overnight tonight, eventually skies become mostly clear, and we're dropping to about 34 at DFW, 33 in Frisco, 36 degrees in Plano. We have a really nice warm up ahead of us. We're going to talk about how warm it's going to get and wind coming up. Stacia, what's traffic look like?
Traffic, well, we're going to go ahead and start in Tarrant County. We had an accident along 35W northbound at Rosedale. That cleared. Traffic's still a little slow there as it's heading toward downtown Fort Worth. We're also watching a backup. This is in Dallas, right along I-35E, checking out the traffic at Walnut Hill on the northbound side. You do have an accident that is slowing things down right there at Royal, and it looks like you have the middle lane blocked, and then the right lane is partially blocked just because you've got folks right there on the shoulder. And of course, people are slowing down. Traffic heavy in that area, and they're slowing down just because it's so close to that right lane. So here's a look at the backup. It looks like it extends almost all the way to Northwest Highway. Really, this is the only active major accident that we're watching across the Metroplex. We do have an upcoming closure that's happening tonight in far north Collin County, right along US 75 northbound in Anna. It is going to shut down on the northbound side tonight at 9 o'clock. It will reopen at 5 a.m. right there at County Road 371. Traffic will take the service road. Morgan?
All right, Stacia, thank you. The Fort Worth Police Department just gave new details about a deadly shooting involving officers last week. It happened on Highway 287 on Thursday. Newly released body camera footage shows officers approaching a man they say tried to harm himself with a broken glass bottle. Witnesses say the man also threatened to take his own life. An officer can be heard on the body cam calling out to the man to drop the bottle. Chief Eddie Garcia says instead the man charged at that officer, adding that he, quote, had no other choice but to fire his weapon at that man.
The officer had no backup. If his taser would have been ineffective, you saw clearly that the individual did not have his arm raised for no reason, that he was trying to attack my officer.
Officers rendered first aid, but the man died from his injuries. WFAA's Scoop Jefferson is watching through this newly released video right now, and he'll have an in-depth update in about an hour on WFAA News at 5. And right now, the Dallas Police Department is offering an update on a shooting involving its own officers. This one happened in a hospital parking garage last week. You can actually stream that news conference right now on WFAA+, and we will have a full report for you tonight on WFAA News at 6. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials confirm a 41-year-old man originally from Afghanistan died in custody in Dallas. They say Mohammed Nazir Pakhtuwal, pictured here on your screen, started complaining about chest pain and shortness of breath after being taken into custody on Friday night. He died at Parkland Hospital on Saturday morning. ICE is investigating his death. Well, officials are working to learn what went wrong leading up to a deadly crash on the racetrack at Kennedale Speedway over the weekend. That's just south of Fort Worth. Organizers of the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series say 2 emergency vehicles were responding to an incident on the racetrack when they crashed into each other. Organizers confirm longtime safety official Billy Hurt died due to his injuries from that crash. Another official was seriously hurt. A witness told us what it was like watching from the stands.
We're going pretty quick. I don't know how fast they were going, but fast enough to where both of the vehicles flipped over several times. I've been to hundreds and hundreds of dirt track races. I've seen really bad injuries, never a fatality, especially not with a track crew worker.
We reached out to World of Outlaws and were told this crash is under investigation and the remainder of the event was postponed. Well, after another weekend of searching, the family of a missing SMU professor says there are still no signs of him. Charles Hush was reported missing along the Appalachian Trail in Georgia back in November. Authorities searched for weeks without finding anything. This weekend, his family brought in their own team, hoping to find answers before the spring season makes this search even harder. Even still, they say they will not give up until they find out what happened to him. Well, 300 TSA agents have quit their jobs as a partial government shutdown stretches into its 4th week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is pointing his fingers at Congress for the lapse in funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Duffy also said the number of TSA agent callouts have doubled from what they were before the shutdown. And in turn, some travelers are seeing longer lines at security. This was the view at Austin Bergstrom International at 4:30 this morning. The line for Checkpoint 1 stretched out of that building as travelers inched forward to the screening area. The airport says a record-breaking 38,000 flyers are set to depart today. Keep in mind, the city is hosting South by Southwest right now. The security line has improved drastically over the last 12 hours, but this issue is being felt at airports across the country. Travelers voiced their frustration about wait times at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson this morning as well.
When we first got here, the line was wrapped around. We had to wait like an hour to even check our bags, and it was like a 2-minute process. I could like punch through a wall right now. I'm like just like over it.
As the shutdown wears on, travelers are encouraged to arrive to the airport up to 2 hours earlier than usual.
I'm Jason Whiteley. Dallas County Democrats face a big choice this spring. 2 candidates who have served in Congress now fighting for 1 seat. This is the Colin Allred, Julie Johnson runoff coming up at the end of May. Johnson sounded quite confident in our interview despite finishing second, telling us that Allred has run statewide for U.S. Senate twice now and still could not get more than 50% of the votes required for this Dallas County seat.
Almost 40,000 people extra voted. The fact that Colin had spent $100 million boosting his name ID over the last 3 years, and for people who didn't know or hadn't been communicated by neither myself or the 2 other candidates in the race that Colin didn't just win this outright is a big problem for him. I just think it just demonstrates a lot of weakness that he has. He had a 16-point drop off from Jasmine Crockett, so he has no mandate in this race.
Still, though, Allred did win the most votes in this primary, finishing 10 points ahead of Johnson.
So you don't ever have to wonder who I'm serving. You don't ever have to wonder why I'm doing something. You don't have to wonder if I'm taking, a PAC contribution from Big Pharma, for example, and then saying that I'm going to take on the cost of healthcare like Julie Johnson has done, or that I'm trading stocks on Palantir, which is a technology company being used by ICE and this administration, buying and selling that stock during my time in Congress, but also saying I'm going to stand up to them. You don't have to wonder if I'm going to do that, because I never have and I never will.
But will Colin Allred make up with James Tallarico and support the Democratic ticket now that Tallarico is the Senate nominee? We wanted to know whether the two have even talked since their very public dispute. We always share our entire unedited political interviews. You can watch them anytime on WFAA+. It is an app there on your smart TV, and it is free to download.